Okay, day 2004, this is, or 2006, excuse me, this is version 4. So the hospital is going to be critical. This is the linchpin to the whole case. If we can't even name the hospital, there's no follow-up, we don't even know where to go for the cameras of Seth Rich as he's coming in. We have no idea of his condition. We can't follow up on the admission report. We can't, any of his vitals that may have, the metadata that may have come off of monitors that he was on. 2 gunshots in the back, you usually remember that. It's not like a stabbing or somebody who swallows a, thing, whatever Clinton did or George Bush did. I can't remember. They had a thing where they swallowed a peanut or something. So it's not like one of those run-of-the-mill things. You remember the gunshot wounds, and you remember 420, that time of night or whenever it is, you remember that. So Tim Day of WikiLeaks contacted me, and I don't know if he's in the UK or if he's in Sweden or if he's in the United States. But I said, which I appreciate. Thank you, Tim. But can you tweet this out? Where is the hospital to the worldwide audience on the WikiLeaks Twitter? Because if we don't have that, that's the linchpin to the whole case. So you got to have that to start, and then you can start working your way back and say, oh, well, there's the officer that came in. That's the officer that brought him in, or there's the EMT that brought him in. Oh, he's got a body camera. Oh, let's get his body camera. And then there's just a profusion of evidence inside the hospital. It's one of the most electronically monitored places in the world. So there's going to be just a profusion of evidence and metadata in the hospital. And he's dead, so their HIPAA doesn't apply. Again, Kennedy, I know he died at Parkland Hospital. We have his autopsy photos. That was the President of the United States. So at this point, privacy is not the issue. It's the sanctity of government, at this point, with the separation of powers. So that's that. Like I said, I published the badge numbers last night with who had body cams and who didn't have body cams. The other thing is the bar. Now, we know 2 guys shot him. At least that's what the press report said. If 2 guys shot him or 2 guys tried to rob him, have you ever heard of robbers casing somebody before they rob them? Maybe if they didn't maybe if it was a political murder, they would be cased in the last place that the victim was alive. Like they would be in the bar probably, maybe even buy him a drink or be around him and have an intermediary buy him a drink and start watching him and start looking at what time he's leaving and so forth. There's a good chance that if we have the bar camera footage that we'll see the other people who might have killed him. At least have some suspects that we can start talking to that might live in the area and correlate those people in the bar with where they lived, and maybe they saw him walking home. Maybe the bar closed and we can talk to people who all left at about 1:40. Maybe they saw him talking to Joe Capone out in the front, and maybe they were worried about him. Maybe there were some people that said that guy shouldn't be walking home alone at night, in the condition he's in, and sometimes, Howard or University area, sometimes in Washington, D.C. is not so safe. Maybe somebody had that thought. Therefore, we would want to talk to that person. That person could provide evidence. Maybe that person stopped and tried to give him a ride and said, "Hey, man, you look really, in bad shape. Let me give you a ride." We don't know unless you publish the whole bar tape. And believe me, if you publish all 8 hours, people will go through all 8 hours and watch him there and do a minute-by-minute timeline of what he was doing. So I'm going to upload this, Tim Day. I appreciate if you could help me out and just get me to the hospital. And then I can get all the doctors and nurses and admittance people and people who work the front desk and all that stuff. I can get all that stuff, and I can get all the metadata downstream. And then we'll know what to FOIA. If people resist giving the information, we'll know what to FOIA.